Welcome to Unwrap Reality, where we narrate stories on things that happen in real life.
What do you do when the person who shares your face, your blood, and your childhood becomes your greatest enemy? That's the question I've asked myself over and over since my wedding day. The day that was supposed to be the happiest of my life, but turned into a nightmare I couldn't wake up from. I still remember standing there in my white dress, heart pounding, as whispers rippled through the crowd. Everything fell apart so fast, it felt like time stopped. But what no one knew then, and what I didn't fully understand until later, was how far I'd go to make sure she paid for what she did. This isn't just a story about betrayal, it's about revenge, redemption, and the fine line between justice and destruction. Let me introduce myself. I'm Emily, a 30-year-old graphic designer living in Portland, with a passion for photography and an obsession with planning every detail of my life. People often described me as the organized twin, always thinking 10 steps ahead. My sister Claire, on the other hand, was the wild card. She lived for spontaneity, taking risks I could never stomach. Growing up, we were inseparable. I shielded her from bullies, helped her study when she barely passed high school, and even lent her money when her business ventures failed. You'd think all that would mean something, right? Claire had this magnetic charm that drew people in. Everyone loved her, even Alex, my fiancé. At first, their friendship seemed harmless. They bonded over sports, late-night video games, and shared laughter at family dinners. But looking back now, I see the cracks I ignored. The way Claire lingered too long during private conversations with Alex, the subtle jabs about my control freak tendencies, and those lingering glances I told myself were harmless. Our wedding was set against the backdrop of a serene vineyard, golden sunlight streaming through rows of grapevines. It was perfect, or so I thought. The morning began normally enough, with Claire cracking jokes and helping me zip up my dress. But there was something off about her smile, something darker beneath the surface. Little did I know, she'd already set her plan in motion. The first sign of trouble came weeks before the wedding. Claire started acting strangely, canceling plans last minute, avoiding phone calls, and showing up uninvited to events where Alex and I were together. When I confronted her, she brushed it off, saying work stress had gotten to her. I believed her because, deep down, I wanted to. After all, siblings fight sometimes, don't they? Then came the small things that added up. Misplaced invitations, missed payments for vendors, and awkward silences whenever Alex joined our conversations. One night, while scrolling through Claire's Instagram stories, I noticed a photo of her and Alex laughing at a bar. A captionless post that left me uneasy. Was it innocent camaraderie or something more sinister? By the time the rehearsal dinner rolled around, tension simmered under the surface. Claire gave a toast that veered dangerously close to inappropriate territory, hinting at secrets best left unsaid. Guests laughed nervously, but I caught Alex shifting uncomfortably beside me. Something wasn't right, and I couldn't shake the feeling that Claire was testing boundaries, pushing buttons to see how far she could go. And then it happened. On the morning of the wedding, chaos erupted before I even stepped foot outside my room. A note slipped under the door, written in Claire's unmistakable handwriting. Alex was never yours to begin with. My hands trembled as I read it again and again, trying to make sense of the words. Before I could process anything, guests buzzed with gossip. Photos of Alex and Claire together circulated among them, courtesy of an anonymous email sent to everyone. Panic clawed at my chest as I realized the extent of her betrayal. These weren't just random snapshots, they were intimate, stolen moments that painted a story far different from reality. A story she wanted everyone to believe. I froze, unable to move or speak. Tears blurred my vision as reality crashed down around me. How could this happen? Had Alex been lying to me all along? Or worse, had Claire manipulated everything to tear us apart? The ceremony dissolved into chaos, with guests whispering behind cupped hands and my parents sobbing uncontrollably. All eyes were on me, waiting for some kind of reaction, but I felt hollow, like a ghost watching my own life unravel. Even now, years later, I can still hear the murmurs, feel the weight of judgment pressing down on me. In that moment, I realized two things. First, Claire wasn't just jealous, she hated me. And second, Alex hadn't denied any of it. Whether out of guilt or fear, he let the lies fester without defending us. Betrayal hit me like a freight train, leaving scars I knew would take years to heal, if they ever did. That day marked the end of innocence, trust, and the person I used to be. As I stood there in my white dress, surrounded by people who no longer knew what to think of me, I vowed silently that this wasn't over. Claire had crossed a line she couldn't come back from, and I would make sure she paid for every ounce of pain she caused, not just to me, but to everyone who believed her lies. Little did I know that vow would consume me in ways I couldn't yet imagine. Months passed before I could think clearly again. By then, Alex had returned, swearing Claire manipulated him, but forgiveness felt impossible. Trust is fragile, and once broken, it's nearly impossible to piece back together. So instead of letting bitterness consume me, I decided to channel it into something productive. Revenge. Not reckless or impulsive retaliation, but calculated, methodical payback designed to dismantle Claire's carefully constructed world. At first, it started small. I canceled memberships to clubs she relied on, leaked embarrassing photos online, and spread rumors among her friends. Each move chipped away at her confidence, isolating her socially and professionally. Watching her squirm gave me a twisted sense of satisfaction, though part of me wondered if I was losing myself in the process. Then came the bigger hits, exposing her shady financial dealings to potential employers, sabotaging partnerships she depended on, and turning mutual acquaintances against her. Every sleepless night spent strategizing fueled my determination. Claire thought she'd won by ruining my wedding day, but she underestimated one crucial thing: I was done being the victim. Revenge became my obsession, consuming every waking thought. Yet, despite the thrill of seeing her falter, doubt lingered in the corners of my mind. Was I becoming the very thing I despised? Could revenge truly bring closure, or was it just another form of poison? Still, I pressed on, knowing I hadn't reached the climax yet. Revenge is a game of patience, and I intended to play until checkmate. I began documenting every misstep Claire made, gathering evidence that would ensure her downfall when the time came. Friends warned me to stop, saying I was risking too much, but I didn't care. This wasn't just about ruining her, it was about reclaiming control over my life. Karma might have struck first, but I was determined to deliver the final blow. And deep down, I knew Claire would never see it coming. Just when I thought I had her cornered, Claire struck back. Somehow she uncovered parts of my plan and retaliated by framing me for professional misconduct at work. Suddenly, I found myself fighting not only for personal vengeance but also for my career and reputation. Panic set in as colleagues questioned my integrity and allies distanced themselves. For the first time, I wondered if karma wasn't just targeting Claire. It was coming after both of us. The tables turned so quickly I barely had time to react. Everything I'd worked for, my job, my credibility, my future, was slipping through my fingers because of the same tactics I'd used against her. Amidst the chaos, an unexpected ally emerged. Sarah, a former friend of Claire's who despised her almost as much as I did. She revealed damning evidence of her manipulations, offering to help expose her publicly. Together, we devised a counterattack that would leave her utterly destroyed. Yet as we plotted, doubt crept in. Was I becoming the very thing I despised? Could revenge truly bring closure, or was it just another form of poison? Despite my reservations, I pushed forward, unwilling to let Claire win. Our final confrontation loomed closer, each move escalating tensions further. Neither of us backed down, knowing the stakes were higher than ever. Whoever blinked first would lose everything. As the pieces fell into place, I couldn't shake the feeling that this battle wasn't just about justice anymore. It was about survival. Karma has a way of circling back, and I began to wonder if I'd survive its wrath unscathed. Claire's actions forced me to confront uncomfortable truths about myself. How far was I willing to go? And at what point does revenge stop being sweet and start becoming toxic? With every step closer to victory, I realized the cost might be greater than I anticipated. The showdown took place at a charity gala neither of us could afford to miss. Armed with Sarah's evidence, I confronted Claire in front of key industry figures, airing her dirty laundry for everyone to hear. Her face paled as whispers spread like wildfire, confirming what I'd suspected all along: she thrived on control, using manipulation to keep others beneath her. But victory came at a cost. As Claire crumbled, I realized I'd sacrificed pieces of myself along the way. Relationships strained, trust eroded, and the person staring back at me in the mirror felt foreign. Did I achieve justice, or had revenge consumed me entirely? Even Alex, standing quietly on the sidelines, seemed unsure whether to celebrate or mourn the wreckage left behind. Walking away that night, I couldn't help but wonder, was this truly the end, or merely the beginning of another chapter? Karma has a funny way of circling back, and I couldn't shake the feeling that my actions might come back to haunt me someday. One thing was certain, I walked away knowing her life was ruined. But mine? It was just beginning, or so I thought.